Again, something like the free market is kind of synonymous with America. And if you don't like it, I don't know how you can say you love this country. You know who loves this country? You know who's not constantly complaining about what happened 200 years ago and who's not obsessed with seeing America through shit-colored glasses and shaking off the stench of what irredeemable privileged we are? Immigrants. AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun.
Bill Maher is once again taking aim at the fringe left, this time for bashing America while glorifying nations with far worse histories. In recent years, countless voices, mostly from the liberal camp, have torn into America for its every imperfection. While Maher admits some of those critiques have a point, he argues most are blown way out of proportion. So, he stepped in to set things straight, and his response was absolute fire. Buckle up, this one's about to get
Too many liberals give the impression that to them, America's just a big ugh. The red, white, and ew. A country that started out bad and will always be bad, founded on an unrelenting history of sucking and unable to change. But we have changed a lot. Democrat Cori Bush tweeted, "This land is stolen land and black people still aren't free." And this was on the 4th of July. Really? Not that I give a shit about the 4th of July. I've never been a rah-rah guy. But I am a perspective guy. And that's what too much of the left has lost, perspective.
Yes, sometimes it genuinely hurts to see how often the left seems to overlook the good in this country. It's as if they're constantly searching for something to criticize, some injustice or historical wrong to hang over. America forever. They claim we live on stolen land, but let's be honest, nearly every nation on earth was shaped by conquest or conflict, including the ones they hold up as moral examples. They insist black Americans aren't truly free, yet this is the same country that elected a black president not too long ago. Progress isn't perfect, but it's real. And that's what makes Maher's point resonate. America isn't flawless, but it's far from the villain it's made out to be. Instead of endlessly tearing it down, maybe it's time to admit that, despite its scars, this is still one of the few nations striving to become better.
72% of black people under 30 are optimistic about their future in America. Way more than white people the same age. And as far as the land goes, yes, I guess we could change the name of Captain America to Captain Stolen Land.
Trust me, even that wouldn't satisfy the woke crowd. No matter how much you apologize or try to make things right, it's never enough. And honestly, what's their end game? Are we supposed to pack our bags, hand over the land, and walk away from America entirely? That's not justice, that's delusion. This is exactly why so many people are drifting away from the far left fringe. Their demands keep escalating, more extreme, more disconnected from reality, and utterly impossible to fulfill. You can't build a better future by endlessly punishing the present for the mistakes of the past. Instead of bringing people together, that mindset only tears them apart. That's not progress, it's self-sabotage. At some point, we need to stop chasing approval from those who will never be satisfied and start focusing on what truly moves this country forward.
Honestly, to all the people who start every public event now with one of those land acknowledgements where they say, "I'm standing on land that was stolen from the proud indigenous people of the Chumash tribe," I say either give it back or shut.
Yeah, I agree. Enough with the pandering. Enough with the empty speeches and virtue signaling. The woke left loves their land acknowledgements, but what do they actually accomplish? A few flowery sentences before an event don't fix anything. They don't rewrite history, and they don't improve anyone's life. If they're serious about giving the land back, then let's see them lead by example. Hand over their houses, their properties, their universities. But of course, that's where the moral posturing stops. It's all about appearing righteous without ever making a real sacrifice. Maher's point hits hard because it's true. This obsession with optics over action has turned authentic activism into a stage performance. America doesn't need more virtue theater, it needs honesty, accountability, and real solutions. Otherwise, all those acknowledgements are just hollow echoes fading into nothing.
AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun.
There isn't a country on earth today that defends and upholds women's rights more than America. From equal opportunities in education and careers to the freedom to speak, vote, and lead across every profession, American women enjoy privileges countless others can only dream of. That's why AOC's claim that America doesn't like women, because voters didn't choose Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris, feels deeply misleading. Elections aren't about gender, they're about leadership, ability, and vision. No one should be guilt-tripped into casting a vote just to satisfy a diversity quota. Kamala Harris, for example, simply didn't make a compelling enough case for why she earned that support. True women's empowerment isn't about backing every female candidate by default. It's about expecting the same accountability and excellence from everyone, no matter who they are.
Capitalism is slavery by another name. No, it's not. It's the thing that has given more people more prosperity and hope than any other system, flawed though it surely is. But
that's exactly right. Capitalism, like democracy, isn't flawless, but it's still the most powerful engine for innovation, progress, and personal freedom the world has ever seen, compared to socialism or communism, which the far left seems increasingly eager to embrace. Capitalism has repeatedly lifted millions out of poverty and rewarded ambition and creativity. To be fair, not every liberal is a socialist, but the number leaning that way is rising fast. You can hear it in the rhetoric of younger Democrats, who talk about redistribution and equity as if they're instant fixes. Figures like Manny have managed to romanticize socialism, portraying it as fair and compassionate when history tells a very different story. The irony is that they enjoy the privileges, comfort, opportunities, and free expression that only a capitalist democracy makes possible. Yet they're the ones most eager to tear that system.
But again, something like the free market is kind of synonymous with America. And if you don't like it, I don't know how you can say you love this country. You know who loves this country? You know who's not constantly complaining about what happened 200 years ago and who's not obsessed with seeing America through shit-colored glasses and shaking off the stench of what irredeemable privileged we are? Immigrants.
That's exactly right. If America were truly the awful place some make it out to be, why are people across the globe risking everything just to come here? Every day, families sell their homes, empty their savings, and leave their entire lives behind for a shot at the American dream. People pay fortunes in their local currencies just to step foot on US soil. Why? Because despite its flaws, America still stands for hope, freedom, opportunity, and the chance to build a better future. Even in the nations the left praises as more progressive or humane, citizens line up outside US embassies, desperate for visas. That says it all. If America were truly as terrible as they claim, people wouldn't be coming, they'd be leaving. The truth is simple. No one runs toward failure. They run toward freedom. And America, for all its imperfections, remains the brightest beacon of it in the world.
Ask any of them why they came here, and they will tell you the same thing. Ron DeSantis put me on a plane. But they will also tell you that America, for all that's so shitty about it right now, is still the last best hope. And those people asking for our votes to take it over should remember that.
Yet, honestly, the Democrats' non-stop America bashing isn't doing them any favors. You can't win voters by convincing them their own country is beyond saving. If they truly want people's trust and their votes, they need to start acknowledging what's great about this nation and actually celebrate it. America isn't flawless, but it's still the land of opportunity, freedom, and resilience. The GOP understands that message. That's why Make America Great Again resonates with millions. It appeals to pride, not guilt, hope, not shame. Instead of tearing the country down to prove moral virtue, Democrats could learn from that. People want to believe in their nation again. They crave optimism, not outrage. Until the left realizes that patriotism isn't a bad word, they'll keep losing ground to a party that still believes America is worth fighting.
That is what's so odd about this time that we're living in. For all the talk about fighting for the soul of America, nobody seems to like it very much.
Anyone who hopes to lead this nation must first rekindle our love for it. Leadership isn't about dividing people along ideological lines. It's about reminding them of what binds them together. The Democrats launched their ambitious Build Back Better plan, promising a stronger, fairer America. But after 4 years in power, what did we really see? Endless debates over pronouns, gender identity, and abortion dominating the headlines. It's not that those topics don't matter, they do, but they shouldn't eclipse the real struggles ordinary Americans face every day. The economy was faltering, inflation kept climbing, the border was chaotic, and national security felt unstable. Instead of tackling those core issues, jobs, safety, and stability, the administration got tangled in culture wars. A real leader must rise above the noise and channel the nation's focus back to what truly matters: unity, prosperity, and pride in being American.
Get creative with a novel, a TV show, or a movie, but history books? That's not supposed to be fan fiction. How we teach our kids history has become a big controversy these days, with liberals accusing conservatives of wanting to whitewash the past, and sometimes that's true. Sometimes they do. But plenty of liberals also want to abuse history to control the present. And last month, a scholar named James Sweet caught hell for calling them out for doing just that. He criticized a phenomenon known as presentism, which means judging everyone in the past by the standards of the present.
Not only does the far left constantly criticize America's present, but they've made it their mission to dismantle its past. Nothing ever seems to satisfy them. The present is never good enough, and the past is always unforgivable. They reject the nation's history, its founders, and even its symbols, as though perfection were ever an option. Every era, every figure, every achievement gets picked apart until only the flaws remain. It's exhausting and ultimately destructive. You can't build a stronger future by endlessly resenting the past that shaped the present. Yes, America has stumbled. Every nation has, but it's also evolved, reformed, and led the world in progress. That's why I always say it's impossible to please them. The goalpost keeps shifting, and no amount of change will ever be enough for those who see everything through outrage instead of perspective. And Maher's right, America isn't perfect, but it's still the greatest experiment in freedom the world has ever known. The left's constant self-loathing helps no one. Real progress begins with gratitude, not resentment. It's time to stop apologizing for America and start believing in it again. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content just like this.